A local nonprofit is making plans to build an all-girls school in Afghanistan. To tell us more, we have Budd Mackenzie, founder and president of Trust in Education, joining us today. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you, Connie.
Now, first of all, tell me about your organization, Trust in Education. What inspired you to start it, and what's the mission?
Well, we are a nonprofit grassroots organization that was founded 7 years ago. And what happened, I had read an article about Greg Mortensen, the 3 Cups of Tea co-author, and decided after reading an article about him to raise money to build a school in Afghanistan. That then led me to become personally involved, and we've been providing sort of education, healthcare, and economic aid to villages in Afghanistan for over 5 years.
Now, why Afghanistan?
Well, there's several reasons. One was brought about by the reading of the book Charlie Wilson's War. And for those who are familiar with the history of our involvement in Afghanistan, understand that the conditions that exist in Afghanistan today are, in large part, unintended consequences of our foreign policy in that country. So, reading of that history, you realize that after we were successful, or actually they were successful in defeating the Russians, we pulled out all humanitarian aid in 1992. And I basically have made it my mission to make sure that we don't do that again, regardless of what we do militarily over there, that we as Americans should help with the reconstruction of Afghanistan.
Now, of course, we know we are sending more U.S. troops there. We hear about continued violence. What are the greatest challenges of trying to even enter a country like Afghanistan and setting up schools?
Well, the greatest challenge, of course, is where we are over there at our level, trying to persuade people of certain views, the most challenging of which is the rights that women ought to enjoy in society. And we have those who are using not the power of persuasion, but the power of the gun to challenge those views. So we're up against people who are willing to kill over that issue, and we're simply providing the teachers, the paper, the books, the pencils, and the schools that make it possible for the Afghans who are on the front line to wage that war.
Now, have you been out there yourself? Have you seen firsthand what it's like?
Oh yeah, I go twice a year. I'll be there again in about 3 weeks. So I've been to Afghanistan 10 times over the last 5 years.
Now, what kind of response do you see to the students and the teachers?
Oh, they love it. They absolutely hunger for an opportunity to be educated. And that's one of the things that keeps me going, quite frankly, is my ability to interact directly with the teachers and the children. And I wish there was a way for me to sort of describe how happy it makes them to be able to go to school.
So you've been able to see the change from when a student first comes not knowing anything and kind of seeing her growth?
Yes. I've been there for 5 years now, and so some of these, particularly the girls, when I first went there, the girls couldn't even look me in the eye. I would look around the classroom, and they'd look down, they'd look to the side. It'd be very difficult for them to look me in the eye or interact with me directly. Now, 5 years later, after they've had an opportunity to have an education, some sense of self-worth, they look me right in the eye, and they have no problem talking to me now. So I've seen that change in body language over the last 5 years.
Wow, that's great. So now you're setting out to establish another school.
Yes, we are. We've got one more school, a girls' school, that I'm very optimistic that we'll raise the funds to build. And it will be for 300 girls in a village that's about 19 miles north of Kabul. And we have a big fundraising event next Thursday with Ambassador Jawad, who's coming 3,000 miles to help us with this event.
Now, if listeners want to get involved, what can they do?
Well, the best thing to do is go to the website and read more about what we are doing in Afghanistan and decide whether or not you want to become part of that process. The other thing would be for people to come to the event next Thursday out at Diablo Country Club and learn firsthand from the ambassador in Afghanistan what the Afghan government's perspective is on a wide variety of issues. And we're going to have Afghan appetizers and wine, and it'll be a wonderful evening that everybody will enjoy and also be able to be informed by somebody who's a very valued and trusted advisor to President Karzai.
Great. So tickets are still available and it's open to the public?
Yes, it sure is. And the best way to get them is to go online, and then there's a way to figure out how to access and buy tickets, and that's the trustineducation.org website.
Okay, we will link that to our site. This is great. I love hearing about the needs in Afghanistan and just making it really accessible and easy for people to get involved and help out. So thank you so much for sharing.
Well, thank you so much, Connie. I appreciate the opportunity.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, what I basically want to convey to Americans is let's get involved personally. Don't just sit around and complain about what's going on in Washington, because we have the ability to make a difference ourselves personally, and let's do it.
Yeah, and it's great. And education definitely works both ways. You're going out there to educate the students and then bring it back home and educate all of us on what's going on out there.
Education is the long-term solution to everything. It really is. And the greatest gift you can give these children in the next generation is education.
Great. Thank you so much. Important message. And good luck with the fundraiser.
Thank you, Connie.
And to learn more about the efforts of Trust in Education and to find out how you can get involved in educating children in Afghanistan, go to our website at kcbs.com/communitycorner.